When trying to identify research gaps, or even once you've developed a thesis or hypothesis, it is always useful to follow the research trail when you find a seminal work or any other very useful article. Researchers call this citation mining. But what exactly does that mean, and how do you do it? One tool you might use is Google Scholar. Suppose you are researching the impact of microplastics on human health, and you find this article, a detailed review study on the potential effects of microplastics and additives of concern on human health. You skim the article and find it to be an extremely thorough source of information that you want to include in your paper. How can you use it to find even more information about the scholarly conversation on this topic? First, look at the references this article cites to learn more about the history of the scholarly conversation. Often professors tell you to look at the works cited list of an article. You can do that, skimming the article titles and trying to determine if any look valuable. This article, Airborne Microplastics, Consequences to Human Health, is an obvious example of an article related to our topic. But rather than skimming the works cited list in isolation, it is almost always better to look at the references in the context of how the articles use them. Looking, for example, at this reference, footnote number 28, we see the title of the article is A Program to Abolish Harmful Chemicals. That title, if we just looked at it in the works cited list, might not seem relevant to our interest in how human health is impacted. But in the context of the article, we see that we can expect this reference to talk about how hormones are impacted. Definitely something that might be useful. So we'd want to look for that article in a database. We could put the article title in Google Scholar, and we can retrieve it here to read and evaluate its usefulness ourselves. This process shows us the history of the previous conversation on this topic. What if we wanted to see how scholars reacted to our original article, a detailed review study on potential effects of microplastics and additives of concern on human health? We'd need to find out who cited that article to learn what they said about it. How can we do that? Again, using Google Scholar, we can enter the name of our article to find it, and once we've found it, we can look for the cited by link. For this article, written in 2020, we see that 646 other scholars had cited it by the time of this recording. That's a lot. It shows we were right to think this article is very important. If we click on that link, we go to a list of those 646 articles. Again, we can look at their titles and descriptions to see if any look valuable to our research. But Google Scholar isn't the only or even the best tool to use for citation mining. Library databases, specifically Web of Science, are often better.